Ford trucks are the best trucks on the market, hands down. Now, I've been running this truck now for a number of years. It's a 2019 F250. I think it's got like 3 years on it right now. And this truck has been used for plowing snow, for hauling trailers, day in and day out. Now, I'm making a claim that Ford trucks are the best trucks on the market, but make no mistake, the competitors still have good products. I mean, Dodge trucks are great. Chevy trucks are great. GM has a really good engine. They have a really good gas engine, maybe better than what Ford has. My truck right here is a 6.2 liter gas V8. The GM, what I really like about the GM V8 is they have the direct injection, and all the friends that I have that have the GM V8 rave about how the towing is. I even have a guy that works for me. His dad has a GM V8, and he raves about the towing that his dad's 2500 Chevy. It just performs so well with that direct injected V8. But Ford doesn't offer that in their heavy duty gas trucks. But that being said, I think there's other things about the Ford trucks that really make them superior to the GM and the Dodge trucks. Now, looking at this truck, guys, after 3 years of plowing snow and towing trailers, I'm greatly impressed by how good this truck still looks. The paint, the body, the rust, that's the biggest factor. Now, the aluminum can still corrode. I've seen some, very rare, but some online only, never in person, some corroded aluminum trucks where the running boards hit the frame or the body. If you look underneath the truck, the running boards actually bolt onto the body. If I can get in there and look, they bolt onto the body right up in here. And if those dissimilar metals start to break down, then I guess you could have some corrosion there. But in my experience, as you can see, like, we're looking under here right now, guys, it ain't having no issues. So I don't know what that guy did or how that happened, but I seen online where the rot occurred where the running boards actually meet the aluminum body. So looking under here, guys, like I said, plowing snow and just working, you can see a little bit of corrosion on the frame, but again, they do a nice e-coat on the frame, and the little bit of surface rust is so minor. And I mean, it's gonna take probably 20 years for me to really have issues out of this frame. Now, that being said, it's probably time for me to start taking some precautions if I really want to keep the truck, but I don't keep these trucks for that long, so chances are I'll be okay. Now, all the trucks I've ever had in the past, I had a 2004 GMC Sierra, I had multiple other brands, and the frames before, back in those days, the frames were not e-coated or any of that, and they would rot, but they'd still hold up because the frame is such heavy steel, such thick steel, that it's really not too much of an issue. So I feel like the rust on the frame on this truck is so minimum for its age and for what the truck has been used for. And at the stage I'm at now, I know I didn't really protect the frame at all, but I could start using like fluid film and maybe some of that AMSOIL metal protector, things like that. But the body on this truck has held up so good over the years. I mean, the paint is good. The cab corners will not rust. Now, let's say, I'm not saying that the GM drivetrain is going to be more reliable than the Ford, but there are some weird quirks with this engine, being a overhead valve engine but still only having 2 valves per cylinder, and the amount of power that it makes is good, but it's not great. And now the 7.3 that came out, again, a really good engine, but I feel like the amount of power that you get out of that engine is not enough for it being such large displacement, for it being 7.3. Now, that being said, the 7.3 is still the best gasoline engine in a heavy duty truck as far as power and everything, but it's huge. It's the biggest engine. And as far as efficiency and all that, I'd be curious how that 7.3 tows against the GM direct injected engine. I'd be very curious how that 7.3 performs compared to that. As far as efficiency and all that, I think the GM might win on efficiency just for the fact that it's smaller displacement, has direct injection, and it might actually come close to its towing performance. I do believe 7.3 still has more power. But when Ford took these trucks and went aluminum, they really did something that the industry hasn't been able to keep up with. So if you're a guy who's in the market for a vehicle to really last a long time and hold its value, I do believe it is a Ford. Because if you're going to get a 17 and it's going to be all aluminum, I feel like it's going to be way easier to keep that body of the truck looking good. Now the engine, the trans, the rear end, whatever, most of that stuff can get replaced. But once a vehicle starts to rust, there is no replacement. But guys, let me know what you guys think about my setup. I got the 16-foot enclosed, and I got the colors pretty close to matching here. And yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this whole outfit here. Very, very nice setup. But anyway, let's get into the truck and head to our first property. But yeah, I'm definitely blown away at how well this truck has held up over these years, man. Because before this truck, I had a 2015. And after about 2 years of the 2015, don't forget your safety belt. After about 2 years of that 2015, I'm looking at the truck like, yeah, it's time to go. I burned through a set of tires on my 2015 Ford, and that truck was still a steel body. I got that truck before the aluminum trucks came out. Steel body truck, got it. And I think I got it in 2015, and it was of 2015. And after 2 years, it's like, man, I think I'm ready to go ahead and switch the truck out. Now the frame on that truck actually kind of held up a little bit better than this frame, because that was an open C channel frame. And the benefit of those open C channel frames, not that they were any stronger, they kind of flex a little bit more, but the metal was so thick, being open C. The metal was so thick that corrosion was just not an issue on those open frames, on those C-channel frames. Now on these box frames, being that the metal's a little bit thicker, the coating on the metal's really good, but the metal is a little thinner on the box frame, and technically, up by the fuel tank and stuff like that, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, maybe the frame rusts out. I don't know. But it seems, now if you look at the F-150s back in 04, 05, 06, their frames being fully boxed, they had issues with rust. Now, will that be an issue on Super Duties? I don't know. Maybe the Super Duties have thicker metal. When it comes to rust, the thickness of the metal is critical, guys. It is critical. If the metal's thin, then rust is more of an issue. It can get through it. But thick metal, it just takes, you can take an open C-channel frame that's heavy, and that's a lifetime of metal just because it's so thick. It'll never rust out. But all in all, guys, these trucks, because of the aluminum, and really it's an ongoing experiment, because a lot of us, do we really know how well an all-aluminum truck, an all-aluminum vehicle can hold up? When does the paint fail? When does it become an issue where it just starts to flake and it just starts to come off of the metal? Like, you've seen that with when certain components of the vehicle were made out of aluminum. You'd see the paint would flake off of the aluminum components, like those tailgates on Explorers way back in the day. The paint would come off and you could see that oxidated aluminum. Now, that being said, I never really seen holes in those vehicles, just the paint would come off. So I think the aluminum is just superior when it comes to corrosion. I do think it dents a little bit easier, but that being said, corrosion, when the material loses its structural integrity because it corroded away, that's one of those things that, a dent here and there is one thing. This truck has a dent on the door. It could get fixed, but you cannot fix rust, period. You cannot fix it. You could get it cut out and it's just going to come right back. So all in all, that's why I think The Fords are just they're the best trucks. Like I said, I do like the GM direct injected. I really would have liked to see direct injection come into play with the 7.3 V8. The dual injection system that they have on the 5-liter, on all that. You look at the power numbers of a 5-liter, even though it's kind of tuned a little different because it's in a 150, the power numbers on that truck is pretty impressive. Now, the idea that a direct injected platform would not be good in a heavy duty application, it could be true. I don't know, but it seems like from what GM is doing, it may be a good platform. But you got to keep in mind too, I think GM is having some problems out of that motor. I think they've had to recall a lot of those gas engines. I'm not sure. I don't really follow the GM news enough. I should, being that this is a truck channel, DS trucks. I really want to get into other trucks. I really want to check out a Cummins. I really want to check out particularly a GM V8, a GM gas V8. Kind of like how JB Reviews does. He's a Dodge guy. He's a Chrysler Dodge guy, but he really does look at all the other brands. Even though I think he leans more Dodge, I think I want to check out a Dodge. Even though I lean more Ford, I'm very curious about what Dodge is doing. I'm very curious about what Dodge is doing with their diesel, because at the end of the day, that's where these other brands come in. Dodge has a better engine than the 6.7. The 6.7 Cummins is better than a 6.7 Power Stroke. Why is that? Because it's an inline 6. Because inline 6 has bigger bearings for the connecting rods. They have everything's in a line. You have fewer moving parts. So when it comes to longevity, the 6.7 Cummins is better than the 6.7 Power Stroke. Well, now when it comes to performance, that's more of a debate. Maybe the Power Stroke has got better performance. Maybe the Power Stroke's got a little bit better technology in that department. Being a V8, being an inverse flow. I don't know how much value that inverse flow really adds, but it's something that's there. The Cummins is a better engine. If you're gonna look at it as an investment for just the engine purpose, the Cummins is better. But if you're looking at a plow truck, the Ford wins every day, all day. If you're gonna plow snow, the salt just doesn't get to these aluminum bodies, I don't think. Now, I do know that aluminum will corrode with calcium chloride, but from my experience with this truck after 3 years of plowing, no problem. Now, as far as what I'm doing to protect the truck, I'm just spraying it off at the car wash after every storm. That's pretty much it, guys. Just spraying off the truck at the car wash after every storm. But yeah, definitely want to look at some other brands. Maybe I'll reach out to some people and see if we can get some other videos going. I do have, so as you see right now, tell me what you guys think. As you see right now, I'm in the truck by myself. There's nobody there, just my laptop. And I want to make these videos and stuff, but I've been really struggling. I think if you follow the channel, then if you're watching this video and you're still watching this video, then you know that something ain't right. Where's DS? How come he's not making no videos? Where he been? Well, the reality is, guys, I've really been struggling to even pick up the camera, communicate anything about trucks. It's like my brain has been so focused on just getting through my workload that I just haven't even had the time to think about it. I'm by myself working for the most part. Dang, did I just see $5 a gallon for fuel? What's going on? Oh my goodness. Guys, when it costs you $50 to fill up a mower, it's time to really look at yourself in the mirror and say, what are we gonna do? What's going on? This is getting insane. But as you can see, guys, I'm by myself in the truck, and I don't really have the help. I got some guys that work on the weekends, but by the time the weekend comes around, I am tired. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But we've been pushing through on Saturdays. These younger kids can work the weekends, but they can't work the weekdays just yet. But I'm definitely in the market for having another guy come in and help. I'm supposed to meet with someone today. We'll see what happens. I'm not getting my hopes up. So many interviews that no one shows up to. It's such a competitive market that I'll tell people, I'll pay you whatever amount of money you want to make. And I tell them this, and they still don't show up. So it's that's why I really haven't been out here pushing a lot of videos or making any contents, because yeah, it's been tough. But yeah, it's tough because I got so much equipment sitting, and I'm just doing like the day-to-day grind. Every day I move my truck out of the way. I get inside the work truck. I mean, my truck's a work truck too, but every time I move my work truck that I will be working in out and doing the lawn route, you know. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm gonna touch base again in another video, but that's gonna be it. I got a lot of stuff to do, so I really gotta grind a little bit and focus a little bit. So anyway, it's gonna be a nice sunny beautiful day out. I'm gonna get all this stuff done, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Sean, this is DS Trucks. See you guys next time. Over and out.